GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the GNT show. This is episode 216, and sadly, this week we are without G and T. But Nick is missing in action, and Terry is she's got the plague. She was out of town for business, and while in New York and in Las Vegas, she came down with something that has just been kicking her butt. So we wish her well. However, joining us this week is Jespa and Janet.
Hello.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. This is Jespa, also known as Janet, and I know it's confusing.
And this is Janice, also known as Naima, but now the Lady Renegade.
I don't know what I did to be so lucky, but thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Nice. That's such a warm welcome.
Yes, my pleasure.
Well, I try. So as I've said earlier, our regular hosts cannot be here, so we have taken over the airwaves, and so let's kick things off with Coffee Clutch.
What did you do this week? Coffee Clutch.
What have you beautiful ladies, have done this week, or the last couple weeks, since it's been a while since?
Well, I've been diligently working on my lovely business and issued a challenge for myself and for anybody who wants to play. Yeah, I asked all my Twitter followers to give me a theme that I would use for the different months.
Flying monkeys.
Yeah. Well, hold on to the flying monkeys, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I received over 189 ideas.
Wow. So
I had to write them down on a piece of paper and then put them in a random generator to give me 13. And then my Facebook fans and followers are able to change those themes by going to my Facebook page and saying which month it is that they want to change and what their alternate suggestion is. And then there'll be a vote and possibly a new theme for that particular month. And I did that because I can get really anal with planning, and I needed to have some randomness.
So you put it in the hands of your fans?
I did. And I posted it on my new blog. And so the blog has all of the themes, but the Facebook page and Twitter both have the announcements. And we're in the month of December. So the goal is to create, take pictures, do art, or whatever it is that you do, but it has to mesh with the theme. So for December, it's protect. So I'm investigating that.
Interesting. I still want a flying monkeys theme, but okay.
So you go to the Facebook page and you say you could find the link to the blog that has all of the themes for the year, pick out the month that you want to have flying monkeys, and then just post on the page for this month. Say it's March. In March, I would like the theme to be flying monkeys. When we get to February, we will vote on all of the suggestions for March.
Cool. What is the address to your blog?
It is janicesanborn.net.
Cool. I'll make sure it's in the show notes.
Thanks. If you use .com, you go to the wrong person who's a photographer in Georgia.
Stalkers. How about you, Jespa?
Yes, I had a really busy last few weeks, actually. I had final paper stuff, was finishing up my internship, and also I'm still writing. So everything's, it all came together. And classwork is done, thank God. This one was killing me. If anything kills off the 4.0, it's going to be this semester. This one was ugly, and it's still, I'm still kind of holding on by the skin of my teeth. But I have one last project that hasn't been graded yet, and I'm kind of afraid of that. The internship finished, but I'm going to be going back in January and doing it on a part-time basis, and they're actually going to pay me. That's the wedding blog, so I get to look at
nice.
People, all the obscene things that people spend their money on. That's what and I put them into little lovely pictures. And the writing is there's over 100,000 words now on the work in progress. Nick, Terry, Mike, and Steve are lawyers in my work in progress. So,
are we being burned
and their boss is a character. So, your boss is a fictional character. So that, I don't know quite what you might think of that. And if you want it at some point, I can read you a little something if you like, but maybe later. But so that's kind of progressing along. It's at almost 105,000, and there's about 2 or 3 more chapters, and then thank God finally that'll be done. I mean, I'm enjoying it, and I'm kind of holding on to it. I can tell, but at some point I have to sort of put a bow on this and say, okay, I'm going to stop now, and then we're go away from creating the new stuff and move it into editing mode, because this one I want to eventually clean up and query and get it published.
Right on. Well, congratulations.
That sounds
a lot
awesome.
of luck. Yes, very cool. Let's see. This week, over the past couple weeks, I should say, what have I been up to?
Yes.
Well, I've been working on my Strange New Worlds anthology entry, or for the contest. I have finished my first draft. I'm almost finished with the second round, which means cool. I will be looking for beta readers here very soon. Probably like tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, I did that. What else have I done? Darn it, I had a whole list of things. Been reading. I finished From Sight Unseen, the Titan novel. And oh my God, it gave me nightmares, and it made me cry. So, well done, Mr. James Swallow. Well done. I'm reading a Voyager book right now, Unworthy. I think I've already read it because I remember so much of the story as I'm reading it. It's like, okay, I remember this. But when I jump to the next book, Children of the Storm, I'm like, what the hell? I don't know who any of these people are, So it's like, I think I've read one of the books, but the other one I'm positive I'm lost on. So yeah, so I'm rereading Unworthy, trying to figure out who the Children of the Storm are, since they were introduced in the previous book. So, oh my goodness. Good morning, Mr. Nick.
Fucking computer, man.
Oh. Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Hey there.
Well, hello.
How are you?
What are you doing in here?
I was holding your spot for you. I kept your seat warm.
I needed a little support this morning.
Are you okay?
I have 2 lovely ladies with me. What could be better?
Well, good to see you all. I'll be heading out now.
No, you don't.
I'll be in my bunk. See ya.
Easy, Jane.
Well, since you're joining us just in time for Coffee Clutch, what have you been up to this week?
Borderlands.
Ah, enjoying it, I take it?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Right on.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Other than that, just living life.
Right on.
So you remember that question I asked you about your Gettysburg Address?
Okay.
Like I was like, when's the next one coming out? Well, somebody in the chat room asked the same question.
Yeah, you should probably mention that. What is this Gettysburg Address that a few people keep asking about? I'm glad you asked. Or
Definitely
not.
interest.
I guess not.
Hold on. I'm having computer issues.
Okay, take your time. We'll wait.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Janet was having some issues hearing us. Apparently, it got the best of her because she just disconnected. Sorry that the show's a bit rough this morning. We're just all exhausted. It's been a while since we got together and did one of these things.
Choppy Sally seas.
Yeah, and and my brain isn't working. That too. Yeah. So, while we are waiting, technical difficulties, we has them. We do have, I guess, quite a bit of news that we can kind of sort of start looking at.
Yay!
Until Nick is able to resolve his technical difficulties. Let's see. We will start with some movie news.
Let's watch a Star Trek movie. Movie news.
Awesome. Let's go. I'm excited.
Star Trek Beyond, their new trailer will be released in conjunction with Star Wars The Force Awakens. That is pretty cool if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so too, because there's some of us that love them both.
I mean, I would have gone to the theater just to watch the trailer in the first place. But the fact that it's coupled with Star Wars, I already had my ticket for Star Wars, so it's like, yes, twofer.
I know, and I'm really excited because I was able to get my ticket to Star Wars last minute, so now I've got the extra surprise.
Oh, right on. So kind of excited about that. There was a interview, I believe, with Mr. Dimebag that, or it was an interview, but I believe he was quoted, where he's talking about how Star Trek Beyond is boldly going back to what made the franchise great. Let's see. Oh, Justin Lin is quoted as saying they haven't really gone on their 5-year mission. This is in regards to the first two films. So what we experienced in the TV show hasn't been touched on yet. There's still a lot to be mined from these characters, and the mission sets up an opportunity for exploration. And the deeper you go, the more you are examining humanity. Those are the things that I absorbed as a kid and hope to tap into and embrace and celebrate. So, the article talks about, where they want to go with it, how they want to explore the human element, tell human-based stories, focusing more on the crew and getting them developed. And then also to kind of challenge our ideas, get us to think about something, happening in our world. And it's a lot to ask for a movie. Star Trek has always been more successful, in a TV show than on the big screen for dealing with hot button topics. But if I'm always game to see if they pull it off or not. With Peg writing and Lynn directing, there is some passion there for Trek, and hopefully it's hopefully what we end up with is something fun and Star Trek.
Well, the interesting thing is that I think the timing's right for a movie to come out that actually does that. So they might just be able to pull it off because of the timing.
Interesting. Um, I actually feel better about this movie. I don't know if I feel better about it, if I care less about them screwing it up with the fact that a TV show is in development. That news has like taken all the pressure off, at least from my perspective, on the films.
Well, yeah, and I think too is that the reason why Star Trek has been better in the TV shows versus the films is because we just absolutely adore it so much that we want that content on a regular basis, and you can examine issues in a more deeper way, episode by episode. In a movie, that construction, it's a one-time thing pretty much, and it takes so much to create another movie that you have to wait too long to get to the next piece.
True. And so yeah, you're right. Which kind of brings me to this other article I had come across, which was about Paramount executive, or it's an editorial, but it's a very brief quote from a Paramount executive that. Let's see, here it is. I often think about the areas of the Star Trek universe that haven't been taken advantage of. Paramount's Evans, Mark Evans, says, like, I'll be ridiculous with you, but what would Star Trek Zero Dark 30 look like? What was the SEAL Team 6 or of the Star Trek universe? That fascinates me. And, once I saw this, it was like, without the context of the new series, I would have groaned. It was like, oh boy, that makes me nervous. But the fact that there is a new show, for me, anyways, it removes all the pressure. It's like, okay, the movies can be what the movies are. They could, be that fast-paced action flick. They could be all these different things. As long as the television show, it kind of remains, what true to what Star Trek is. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
So I'm kind of excited, because, like I said, for me, anyways, it removes all that pressure that I was like. Before it was like these movies have to be good, because they got to be Star Trek. Now it's just like. They could just be fun movies now, because right now my focus is on the series, and I want good Trek for that. So yeah,
makes total sense to me.
Welcome back, Jespa.
Welcome back.
Okay, well, moving along to the next bit of movie news. Star Trek Beyond is coming to IMAX in the summer of 2016. So let me get the article open. July 2016. It'll be IMAX, and if everyone recalls, there was some issue getting the IMAX theaters booked, and some people had or a press release had been released, I think like a week after or something, stating that. Or blaming Legend of Tarzan, a new Tarzan movie, on the problems. Apparently, Tarzan had booked all the IMAX theaters for the weekend that the film was originally supposed to be released, and they had to push it back a couple weeks in order to get the theaters booked. Well, the first photos of this. Of the two leads in the Tarzan film have been released, and now I'm the one having Skype issues. Are you sure it's just me not just stuttering?
I don't think so. I had seen those pictures because we were, we put the links. I scheduled them to go out on Twitter, and it's like, I don't know, meh. mean, they're lovely people, but there's lots of, there's lots of movies coming out. It just seems weird that Tarzan would be problematic for Star Trek. Considering that the audiences aren't really perfectly congruent, whereas Star Trek and Star Wars is a different story. Then the audiences are very close, a lot of overlap, and they would cannibalize from each other, but. Tarzan, I'm not really seeing that as being, why would that be blamed as being a reason?
They had booked all of the IMAX theaters that weekend.
Okay. So
that's the story. That's the story.
Allegedly,
that went out is that they had booked all of the theaters and there were none left.
What studio is Tarzan?
That's a good question.
Let's see if we can get it.
Let's see if it's mentioned.
Because if it's Paramount,
Warner Brothers.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, see, if it was the same studio, then somebody would have some splaining to do.
You're fired, basically. Okay, so Tarzan's got pretty nice abs. I'm going to say that right now.
He is he is the king of the jungle.
He's been bench pressing chimpanzees.
Or flying monkeys.
I'm interested to see if it actually follows the Greystoke.
Apparently it doesn't. From what I had read in that particular article that I just shared, what they're doing is it is several years after he's lived in London. So this is after
So it's like the later books.
I think so. I have not. Sadly, I have not read those books, so I am not completely sure. But he returns and then returns to the jungle because he's like an ambassador. Mm-hmm. And then while he's there, he ends up returning to the forest. Something along those lines. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with the Tarzan story all that much, but ought to be interesting nonetheless. So yeah. So they were blamed for the lack of for Beyond being pushed back 2 weeks. So Nick, did you resolve your issues with your technology?
I'm hoping so.
Okay. So
a bunch of fucking updates got forced through.
Oh.
Yep. Same here.
Interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Gettysburg Address?
Oh, it's that if you don't listen to it, then you are bound to go to hell.
Well, that's direct. It's very clear.
Well, I'm just,
Well, I think most of us are wondering when we can have more.
It's going to be like a monthly, and right now right now I'm trying to get a second guest. Is a little problematic for January right now because of the holidays and everything, but it'll work itself out. I've already got somebody lined up for February.
Very cool. And people can listen to your first episode at gbaddress.com.
Yes, and Mike laid some good news on me last night. I'm on Google Play now, Mike?
Yeah, you're on iTunes and Google Play.
Look at that.
I believe it's the Gettysburg Address for both. And Gettysburg has the apostrophe S at the end, so it's Gettysburg's Address.
Yes. Although I am hoping to fool history buffs into, what? What is this that they're talking about? This isn't about the speech.
And who was your first guest?
That would be the swarthy writer-director James Kerwin. And,
the Honorable.
The Honorable James Kerwin. And for those that know me here, it's a very different style than G&T. It's very different.
It's a one-man show.
It's more like a Charlie Rose interview.
I appreciated the song and dance number you did at the beginning. Oh, wait, that was a monologue. I'm sorry.
You got to start big and, go big or go home.
Yes.
Yes, I start out with a small, about a minute, Mike, would you say? 2 minutes?
It wasn't really all that long, but yeah, couple minutes.
But setting the table for the interview that will follow.
Yeah, and then it was a very interesting discussion. I mean, I was present. I didn't. I was behind the scenes, running making sure the squirrels were working properly.
And there were squirrels, not squirrels of like verbal, but we had squirrels in the machine. We had voles.
Yes, there was. So, we chased the voles around, and like I said, I was present, and but it was all Nick, and you did a really good job, dude. Congratulations,
Thanks.
and definitely looking forward to more.
Well, that all the credit goes to James because he's a great guest and he knows what he's talking about. And for those that don't know, what we discuss is direction, how movies are directed, and also the difference between television and film as far as the whole production aspect of it, and that television is a writer's medium, and movies are definitely a director's medium, which is interesting. What you were saying, Mike, about Star Trek, the movies, and then Star Trek with the new TV series. So, it can definitely apply there.
Yeah, right on. Let's see. So are we ready to move on to more news?
Sure.
Also, one other thing.
Sure.
Jesfa, I did not understand half of that email you sent, but thank you very much.
I'm a communicator, yes.
Well, you were talking technical stuff that you and Mike, I could see you were like, oh, okay. You were like Jordy and Data talking, and I'm the historian standing there going, oh, look at this. The panels look pretty in engineering.
Look, it's green.
Yeah, I had asked Janet to take a quick look under the hood at Nick's website for the Gettysburg Address, gba-address.com, and kind of lend us her expert opinion, and she was more than happy to do it, and she gave us a full report, which was German to Nick, and it was
which nobody knows what the hell I wrote.
It was French to me. I could understand enough of it to muddle about, but
that makes me feel a little better than if it was French to you.
Next time it will be in French.
Ah, très bien.
By the way, Jesfa, happy Hanukkah.
Oh, thank you. It is the last night, and so
Is
in
it the
the
last
package,
night already?
Yes, it is. I know, it just flew by. So the candles, the candle package had an extra candle in it, and every now and then we have extra candles, and so we have, I don't know, about like 7 of them by now. And so either I'm going to build myself a Jew eventually, or I don't know really what I'm going to do with them. There's going to be some art project probably, but yeah, I have extra Hanukkah candles, so they're good if you have a December birthday, I suppose.
Now I'm gonna these two very serious questions. Is there anything special for the last night that goes with that?
Just that it's all the candle, everything's burning. That's all,
Okay.
Including your house if you're not careful.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to be a smartass. This is an honest question. Because they're Hanukkah candles, are they like? Is there something special about them? Like you guys Jews have kosher meat and everything. Are the candles like blessed?
Are they kosher?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question. No, there's nothing different unless, I don't think anybody makes candles from pork fat anymore. So I think we're good, because I have seen menorahs where they've taken, you remember those small birthday candles?
Oh, yeah.
That we used to see when we were kids, and they'd have those weird little flower holder things, and you stick them in your cake, and you get wax all over your birthday cake. I've seen menorahs that will take those candles, so it doesn't seem to be that there's anything specific for these candles, except you have to have enough of them, which is 45, I believe. So there you go. Or I could have made something up.
So every day you're putting in new candles, not relighting the ones that are already there.
Oh yeah, we're all the way.
Because the first one would burn. That would be like a nub. And then
I didn't know. I thought maybe the candles were like made to last like several days or something. But okay.
And we
Oh,
can tie
yeah,
this
that
in
would be
this-
a miracle.
We can tie
The
this
more you
into
know.
Star Trek because Shatner Jewish, Nimoy Jewish,
Yeah.
Shimmerman.
Shimmerman.
Oh, see? Well, yeah, it's the thing about Hanukkah is it's 8 nights of terror pretty much, because I don't normally have burning stuff going on in my house unless it's in the fireplace, and even that we don't do very often. But at least in the fireplace, the fireplace has doors, and you figure even if it burns all night, you're not going to burn the house down. But
So she's put the menorah in the fireplace.
The menorah's in the
we're
tub.
not quite that bad. Menorah in the tub. Pretty close to it. It's always like, where do you put it? And we don't have a lot of counter space. So my husband and I are always, knocking into each other, and we got, candles and all this other junk. So, lit candles, and it's just not fun. So we were putting it into the TV room on top of a card table. The problem is nobody's actually sitting there watching television. So, we have unattended flame, which was bad. So then you have to move it while it's burning, and to go into the kitchen when we're done with the kitchen, and so I'm putting it over the sink, and half the time I'm putting it in the sink, and my husband's like, no, it doesn't have to go in the sink, but I want it near the sink. Oh no, it can go over here. So yeah, that's
My God.
Yeah, 8 nights of terror plus marital discord, where everybody's running around saying, "It's safer here." No, you don't have to do that. What? You're crazy. You're neurotic. What's wrong with you? Get
The
back
holidays.
there. It doesn't look right.
It brings out the
The
best
holidays.
in people.
It's just the two of us too. Can you imagine if
Oh my
the family
God.
had come over as well? This
See,
is just the two
Janice-
of us, and we're having this fight.
Hey, Janice.
Janice.
She might have stepped away for a moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez, and you
Hello.
think you have anxiety about things?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I was saying
every year
yes.
And you think you have anxiety about things?
Every year we try not to burn the house down.
Well,
at
I
Hanukkah.
can
So far, so good.
understand
By the way,
what
that
she's
was the most
going through with that,
quintessentially
though.
Jewish conversation. That was awesome.
It was cool.
Well, actually, it was very cool because I had no idea that you let the candles pretty much burn all day. Then
They only last, I want to say, about 45 minutes to an hour.
Wait a minute.
It's not
Hold
too bad.
on. Back
Really?
up. Wait a minute. Back the Jewish bus up. Hold on. So you're going through all of this for just 45 minutes?
Well, I'm really glad that it doesn't go all night, because I don't want my my smoke alarm going off.
The stress would drive her
The
crazy.
stress. we haven't slept in 8 days.
Oh my God.
This is why we eat all that comfort food. It makes you sleep.
Oy vey. Is there anything, is there a special meal for the 8th day or anything?
No, I mean, if you want to have, latkes or whatever, you can have them any night.
And this is the point where isn't this the point where, the big gift is like, hey, here's your dreidel. Now get out of here.
Pretty much. Go away, kid. Here's a 5. Buy yourself a dreidel. But I do have a Hanukkah scene in the book that I'm writing, so because hey, why not?
Yes,
That's gonna be
we know
great.
we've gone off on a religious squirrel, but we don't care. It's the season.
'Tis the season.
Tis the season. Now, and now I know what Passover represents. What is Hanukkah? What's with the 8 days?
Okay. Oi. So Hanukkah.
I'm never gonna talk about the Hanukkah.
No, now the Hanukkah. All right. So, the Syrians actually, or was it the Assyrians? I can't remember which one. Either it starts with an A or it's the one.
It was the Assyrians.
Yeah. So they come crashing into the temple, and they do bad things, and they defile it, which is essentially means they were engaging in the sacrifice of non-kosher animals. That's probably what was happening. Possibly the sacrifice of human children, too, I might add. But hey, whatever. It's a family show, so they do all this, and it's ugly, and it's dirty, and nobody likes that. And they've doused the eternal flame, and that's bad. So. While people are cleaning up with buckets and mops, or whatever the equivalent it is at the time. Somebody finds purified oil because you need to have pure oil. I mean, at least they did. They didn't want it to be anything that was possibly contaminated with non-kosher fats, because after all, when they, we burn candles and whatnot, and it's not really it doesn't necessarily have to be animal fat. It can be tallow. It can be something else. But what they had was, this was a byproduct of slaughter, and so it had to be from a kosher animal. And so it apparently would take 8 days to purify oil, which still doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like you just slaughter the goat and you're done, and there it is. But I guess maybe it takes a while for it all to, become something you can burn. So they found enough oil, but it was only enough oil for 1 day, and so they light it, and it's like, okay, it's only going to be 1 day, and then we're going to have 7 days without the eternal flame. But it turned out to last for 8 days, and that's the miracle of Hanukkah. And I realized that that's pretty anticlimactic, but this is what we've got. At the time, the Judah Maccabee and his brothers were warriors, and they go in after the Assyrians, and they apparently were successful. So all this is happening at the same time. So we got the burning going on in the temple, and we have war heroes, Judah Maccabee and his apparently nameless brothers, but I like to call them Manny, Mo, and Jack. They go in, and
My brother Daryl.
Huey, Dewey, Louie, if you like. Yeah, pretty much. And this is my brother Clyde, and so they go in and they conquer the Assyrians, and there is much rejoicing, and we get our temple back. And by the way, our oil lasts, and so the eternal flame doesn't really go out, and life is grand, and everything's wonderful. Woo! And so let's eat. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of a lot of Jewish holidays, which is they almost killed us. They failed to do so. We conquered our enemies. Let's eat.
And ladies and gentlemen, Judaism in a
Mazel
nutshell.
Tov.
Time for some Shabbos.
You haven't eaten yet. Have something.
Right on.
Because that's what I want after. I always want a hearty meal after I defeat my enemies.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
You probably need a hearty meal after you defeated your enemies.
That's true. That's true. So, not only is our latkes traditional, which we make them with potatoes, but actually way back when they used to be made with like buckwheat and stuff like that. Sufganot, and I know I didn't even say that right. Sufganot are little jelly donuts, and they are actually traditional as well. They are Sephardic. And I'm sort of like half Sephardic. So the difference between Sephardic and Ashkenazi has to do with where your ancestors came from. Ashkenazi are kind of Eastern European. They're sort of Germanic, Russian kind of Jews. And Sephardic are Spanish, Portuguese, and also like more Moroccan, Middle Eastern kind of folks. And I do have a little bit of Spanish, but not much, I'll tell you. It's like a 5% deal for me. And Sufganot is traditional for them, which are these sort of little, it's almost like Dunkin' Munchkins, actually. But but they're filled with jam. And they're fried in oil because because this is an oil-based holiday. So everything is going to just sort of destroy your cholesterol, essentially.
Deep fried heaven.
Yoo-hoo! As long as it's kosher.
Of course.
Oi.
I find it interesting that the Islamic, the Muslim religion and the Jewish religion, there's several things that overlap, and one is the whole pig thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot more things that are similar / even identical than I think a lot of people really want to admit. I mean,
but the big takeaway from that is more bacon for the Christians.
I mean, if I was to go to a halal butcher, the standards would be pretty much almost identical to a kosher butcher, and vice versa.
Well, didn't the two religions kind of like split off from each other at a certain point after most of these holidays were established?
Well, here's the deal. Christianity is...
Muhammad was after Christ.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's even later. Hanukkah is, good lord. Hanukkah is, I think, I want to say about 700 BC, something like that. I probably got that wrong, so don't quote me. But I know it's pre-Christianity. So this is way before. This is way
Because what
before
year
Islam.
is this for the Jewish people?
57 something or other.
And we still know starships.
I know.
It's the Jews, man, holding us back.
Well, we had talked. You had mentioned
5776. Sorry.
Nick had mentioned James Kerwin earlier. So I was thinking maybe we can do some fan productions, unofficial productions.
I made something Star Trek. Unofficial productions.
Why does Renegade just hire everybody? I'm sorry, not hire. Get everybody.
I know they keep announcing new people. I think the latest one was Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah.
And you know what? At first I was like, "What?" And then I thought about it, and it's like, you know what? There was that episode of the film. Which film am I thinking of? I think Undiscovered Country. You know, where she does the fan dance. But there's a whole scene in there where she like hijacks
Final
the
Frontier. How
transporter.
dare you?
Oh, was it Final Frontier? My mistake. I apologize. But she hijacks, she sticks a cadet in a closet and allows...
Oh, that was 4. Yeah, that was 4.
See, we're all over the place. But she so I can kind of see her having that streak, that renegade streak in her. So I was like, okay, that seems cool. So,
well, even if you look at the original series, remember when Khan took over the ship, the dude was slapping her, and she didn't back down one bit.
Yeah, right on. Well, so continues. Since that's kind of what reminded me wanted me to start talking about fan productions. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony for their new engine room. Their engine room is done. So congratulations, Star Trek continues. They have also released, Star Trek Continues they've also released a 3D virtual tour of their entire set. So bridge, the corridors and all the adjacent rooms, the engineering, you can see it all in virtual 3D, thanks to Matterport technology. So the link's in our show notes, but the sets are beautiful, and it's kind of cool to be able to like kind of sort of walk through and look around their sets. So definitely check that out. Let's see, Red Shirt Diaries. It's been a while since we've had since we talked about them.
She's so hilarious.
3 episodes have come out since our last discussion of them. Space Seed, Court Martial, and A Taste of Armageddon. And they're all hilarious. I mean, I think I've watched them like 6 times. Great stuff. Let's see. Star Trek Excelsior. They're the audio series. Been around for like ever. Nichelle Nichols and Walter Koenig have joined their cast. They're also doing a Kickstarter to kind of sort of pay Walter and Nichelle's fees, but they were looking for 5,000, and they ended up with 15. So congratulations to them. There are still 5 days remaining. Let's see, and they've reached all 3 of their stretch goals. Which the first stretch goal was Nichelle Nichols. Second stretch goal was Walter Koenig, and then the last stretch goal was for production improvements. So they got all their stretch goals, and like I said, they've got still 5 days remaining. So if you want to support that project, feel free. The link will be in our show notes. Another Kickstarter going on right now is Starship Farragut. Looks like it looks like they are winding this production down. They are ending the TOS era for Farragut, and they are going to be launching after this final episode, which is called Homecoming. They are going to be launching Farragut Forward, which is Wrath of Khan era show. So they're going to be still making Star Trek episodes, but they're pushing it forward by 10, 15 years, or is it another 5 years? I'm not sure, but they're moving into the film era for their next show. Anyways, their goal to produce this episode is 15,000. They've raised over 4,000 already, and they have 18 days to go. So check out. Oh, big news for them. They have secured Stan Lee. He will make a cameo in this episode, Homecoming. So gotta check them out. Throw them some support.
The Stan Lee, as in Marvel Comics.
Yes, the Stan Lee.
The hell,
Neato.
Excelsior.
Yes. Well, Farragut, but yes, Excelsior. So yeah,
It'd be hilarious to have him go Excelsior. And
I know, really.
Say, no, we're the Farragut.
We're the Farragut.
Crickets.
So yeah, gotta check that out. Let me see. Star Trek continues. Their Kickstarter will be launching soon. This is from what the rumor mill has been saying. This may be their final Kickstarter. They're hoping to raise enough money to make several episodes, but this is the last time they want to ask fans for money. So they're hoping they're shooting for the stars on this last round. Start saving up your pennies and because it's coming. And also congratulations to them. They won 4 Global Accolade Awards.
Yes, they did.
So congratulations. That is totally awesome. Let's see. They won 4 awards across 2 episodes that were submitted, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the White Iris and what's the name of the Civil War episode?
I don't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, great episode. Well deserving of the accolades, but I don't remember the title either. I can't think of it at the moment. But that's okay. And then the final item that
Divided we stand.
Thank you.
Divided we stand.
Thank you. I was
kind of Google machine working.
I was kind of waiting for Matthew Anderson to, work his Google machine magic. And finally, the last bit that I want to mention for fan productions or unofficial productions, which has a tie-in to convention. Our friends over at 5 Year Mission, the rumor mill says that they've written a new song for the con, and they've made some requests for certain video clips, so they can use it in the video that will accompany the new tune. If you are interested in participating in their video, there are instructions on a Facebook post on their Facebook page. So you have to be a member of their group, I think, to see it. But you will be able to, if you follow the instructions, you might be able to join in and be part of their upcoming video, which, from what I understand, is something that they are sending to creation. So,
yes.
Yeah, check that out.
For the convention, yeah.
For the con, yes. Con! Oh, God. And let's see. I think, a little bit of convention news that we can move into, unless there's something you guys want to talk about instead.
Nope.
Sure. Let's go into convention news.
Convention news.
Let us see here. I'm looking for the actual news here. Some new guests have been announced. Tim Russ, Connor Trenier, Dominic Keating are some new additions. Do you remember when we were doing our fundraiser how commander level tickets were sold out?
Yes.
Well, they ended up getting their hands on a few more, but those have since sold out. So,
Good Lord.
But I think it was because of the problems that some people were having with the tickets, where with their website, people ended up with extra tickets. So I think once the dust settled and they were able to resolve some of that, they ended up having some extra tickets to sell. So they put those back up, and since then they've all been sold. So
one of the things I've seen is people are very excited for the convention this year, but there's also an underground of I don't want to say discontent and not even unease, but people waiting for the general admission there's a lot of concern because of the way it seems to be running so different this year. And just creation, please don't alienate just because they may not have bad attitudes and spend a lot of money doesn't mean they're not as big a fan as everybody else.
Interesting. Well, Copper Weekend admission tickets are available. They are currently on sale for, where's the price? $549. And with them, you get a reserved seat to all 5 days. You get to select your seats, admission into the secondary program theater, special color wristbands and collector's lanyard, complimentary Star Trek Collector's limited edition gold coin, pre-registration the night before the con, admission to the vendor's room, complimentary admission to the famed Saturday night gala, and admission to promenade area, admission to Star Trek signers area. Let's see anything else here. There's so much. The Rio, apparently they've sold out of rooms. So they have set up overflow next door at the Palms.
Wow.
So if you're looking to book a room and you haven't done so yet, it looks like you may be making a short commute from the Palms in order
I wonder if they'll have a shuttle.
You would imagine that they would. That just between the two hotels that there would be some kind of shuttle.
Because the Palms isn't that far away, but it's far enough away.
Yeah, I think they said it's a half-mile walk between the two properties. But yeah, the Rio they've basically sold out 11,000 rooms at the Rio. That is amazing. So congratulations, Rio. So yeah, now it's if you're looking to attend, the Palms is where you're going to be looking at. The prices range from, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're $89 a night. Friday and Saturday, $159 a night, and Sunday is $89. And there's some additional fees involved, so be aware of that. And information for reservations can be found on Creation's website. So, all right, let's see here. Anything you guys want to talk about? There's a ton of news. We can go on forever for news, or do you guys want to get into a discussion topic?
Well, Janice is with us still, right?
She should be, if I didn't put her to sleep.
Oh.
Which I may have.
Janice.
Hello.
How far are you into your first run watch of Voyager now? Hello?
I think she isn't at the computer. Either that or her microphone is not. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on.
Okay.
Couple bits of interesting technology news.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hey, I saw that on Star Trek. Technology news.
The first one is Google has made a prototype communicator. They have since the prototype communicator.
She just texted me her computer rebooted.
Ah.
It's a day of that. Man.
Yes. Well, she'll join us and we can harass her a little bit later. But like as I was saying, they wanted to see if they could create a prototype wearable device that would work like the Star Trek communicator, connecting connecting via Bluetooth to your cell phone, smartphone. And although the test was successful and they did create this prototype, before they continue and will be following it up with an actual product, which kind of makes me sad. I mean, I guess they're focusing on other types of wearables. I guess wristwatches and whatnot. But come on, the Stargate communicator pin brooch. I guess brooches are out of style, right? Is that what's going on? What do you guys think?
I used to wear them a lot when I used to wear suits all the time.
I was going to say, I pretty much see them every day in the office,
Okay. And I guess moving on to the last bit of technology news. This is from Nerdist. LaForge, his optical implants might actually be a thing. Let's see, implants seem present, but they look like the fish. And so I have to admit, some of the designs that they have here in their examples are kind of interesting. But yeah, so they've started developing ocular replacements like Geordie's visor that could repair visually impaired people, or I don't know if that came out correctly, but it can help people with cornea-related issues. I'll help them recover their sight. So that is kind of cool. But these so-called bionic eyes they have some interesting designs that are it's kind of a trip to look at. But so that might be a thing.
It makes sense. I mean, it's definitely the kind of technology that would be obviously very useful for people, and seems very very plausible, because we already do cataract surgery is already the whole you slice in and let's toss a lens in there. What? Okay, sew it back up. Everybody's fine. I mean, my folks have both had that, and so this can this extends the vision for people who are in their 80s and older, and it really significantly improves the quality of life particularly for elderly people. So to be able to do this for, I'm guessing these are for like corneal ulcers and things like that, I'm probably saying this wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was some of the blindness that can be a byproduct of diabetes. And if that's the case, then this is a truly significant breakthrough, because diabetes is starting to really, really gallop in our population.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever had to get this, I would want the one that sees things 5 seconds before everybody else.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of useful. Especially at the roulette table, correct?
You did that, and football games.
Yeah.
Just making bets.
Well, there would be like moment by moment bets rather than like who's going to win the game if it's only 5 seconds, right?
Yeah, will he make this play? That kind of thing.
This was short bets. Yeah, that would be useful for that.
It's caused by infection, physical and chemical trauma, corneal drying and exposure, contact lens overwear, and misuse. It doesn't really say it's about diabetes, but there are other problems that you can get with vision from diabetes.
Eyes? How do you misuse your eyes?
No,
Although some of this
contact lens
Oh,
misuse.
I was going to say
Yeah,
some
you
of the
leave
things
them
that
in
I've
too
seen on the
long. You
internet.
don't clean them.
Yeah, that's icky when people do that. But to be able to fix that in this way this is terrific.
In the chat room, Sensei, I'll put a GIF in there, and I want to know what that cabbage did to upset that dog so much.
I know, it rips its
Those are
face
some
off.
evil cabbages.
Let's see. We can either go book news or product news, and there's a lot of products. It's the holidays.
It is the holidays.
So go with product news?
Sure.
Yes.
I need more Star Trek stuff. Product news.
All right. Let's begin with Starfleet Academy.
Okay.
I'm opening it up. So unlock the future with Starfleet Academy keychains. So,
by the way, congratulations to Starfleet Academy for making the Mars Bowl. So that'll be a good game.
Congratulations.
Beat Jupiter! Beat Jupiter!
The Jupiter Station. What would their team be?
The Jovians.
The Jovians.
The Jovians.
Well, these keychains, they've got the command, medical, science, and engineering logos, and they've got two different styles. One of them's colored, the other one's kind of like this silver. They're kind of cool looking, and you can sport around your Starfleet Academy on your keychain. So that was kind of really cool. Let's see. Next up in our product news extravaganza is congratulations to Bye Bye Robot. EW has an article about some of their poster designs. So congratulations to them. If you haven't seen their work, you got to check out byebyerobot.com and order some of their posters because they're really, really great. So yeah, and they're not very expensive, but yeah, check them out.
And they're good people too.
They are great people. Space.com, they actually had an article about Vulcan Ale beer.
Oh wow!
Stars over at, but they're
you're Skyping really bad.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hear it too. It's probably some websites I'm opening. Am I clearing up? Am I better?
Woo!
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, a little better.
Okay. Space.
Yeah, look who's back.
Welcome back.
Yes, I love Microsoft because, the nice little soft messages that let you know they want to reboot your system because they don't want to interrupt your work are wonderful.
But we're sending you over the edge anyway.
So the Vulcan Ale is the Genesis effect that we're talking about. So I think we broke the news on the show not very long ago. Yeah, early after the con.
At the convention.
Yeah. So congratulations to them for being on space.com and check out their beer. Apparently it's hidden in North America. Or the United States, I believe, is what it is. Cool. That's cool. Next up is this. There are new wine glasses and charms. The wine glasses are actually kind of interesting looking. They're kind of like they're not. They don't have like a flat level edge. It's kind of like tilted at an angle. So I don't know. It's kind of different there. I haven't seen anything quite like it.
All over it.
I know. I was thinking, yeah, I might be wearing more wine than I'm drinking, but they're very cool looking glasses, though. And they also have new charms. So for like bracelets and necklaces and other, they're a little bit larger than half an inch across, with 3/4 of an inch loops. So, but they look cool.
With those glasses, I just. How are you not hitting your own? Okay, with that tilt, doesn't it just seem like somebody would go the wrong way and wind up putting an eye out?
it would prevent you from getting to the to draining the glass. I think unless you like turned it and drank from the other end. Yeah, you have to be smarter than the glass, Nick. You have to be smarter than the glass.
I'm already behind the curve on that.
Janet, I think you were the one that brought this to our attention. This is the Enterprise Perth Mint, or the Perth Mint Enterprise coins.
Yes, I saw those. I can't remember where or how they just sort of flew by, flew over the transom. But yeah, they look pretty neat. It's a picture of Captain Archer. There's
on
a picture
one side
of the NX-01 also.
Yeah, they're kind of like silver in color with the actual color applied. The color is on for Archer himself, and then on the flip side is the background, not the NX itself, but the background that the NX is on is what's in color. It's kind of interesting. So if you're a fan of Enterprise and looking for a nice coin to add to your collection, that might be a good gift. All right. I've got a couple items regarding the Borg, because nothing says nothing says holidays like the Borg, right?
Like assimilation.
Yes, like assimilation.
Is that how holiday cheer is spread?
They spread it really fast.
Okay, so there is a new... ThinkGeek has a new Star Trek product. It's the Borg Cube Paper Lantern Floor Lamp. Some assimilation necessary. It looks cool, but if it's it's an 18-inch cube, meant for indoor use only. It can be switched on and off using an inline foot toggle. And some assembly is required. 40-watt max incandescent light bulb runs for about $40.
Talk about a fire hazard, Jespa.
I know, paper
yeah.
floor lamp, but it's Borg. It's kind of cool. And then the other Borg item seems much more durable. This is a Borg Cube glowing chair.
Jesus Christ.
It's a Borg cube that in the dark glows green or one of 15 other colors and can be used as a chair, footstool, or mood lighting for those, for those quiet
Hanukkah
moments.
is the fire in which we burn. Sorry.
And it's got a rechargeable internal battery. Let's see, it's got a remote control. Let's see, 6-foot power cable, runs about $200. It measures 15.5 inches and weighs 9 pounds.
I still have my heart set on one day getting the little fridge that we saw at the convention, the Borg Cube.
Oh yes, that's a nice mini fridge. Yes,
that thing is awesome, and it glows green and everything.
Eagle Moss, they have announced that they are expanding their Starship collection. They are adding 10 more ships to their series. So they're taking it from 90 issues up to 110.
Wow.
So they're actually adding 20. Excuse me. My math was wrong.
It's Sunday. It's okay.
They haven't really mentioned much of which ships are going to be featured, but they did say that some of the vessels are extremely rare, and some of them were even seen in the debris field at Wolf 359.
Wow, they're stretching now.
They're stretching, but there you go. And other models that the expansion will allow for will include significant Delta Quadrant ships. More ships created for the remastered Blu-ray editions of the original series, and ships from the featured films.
Speaking of the Delta Quadrant, hey Janice, I'm sorry, Naoma.
The Lady Renegade.
Oh, for God's sake! Hey, you.
Yeah. What?
You're on your first viewing of Voyager. What are you up to at this point?
Somewhere at the end of season 3 or the beginning of season 4. I just let it roll. I don't pay attention.
Let me tell you all something
until I
about my
start.
life. No, let me tell you all something about my life. I'll get a text or a message, and it'll say, "Oh wow, and this episode is really good." And I'll say, "What episode are you watching?" And this is what I'll get. I don't know.
Well, Netflix doesn't really post up there. I'm watching it on the Xbox, and it doesn't
But
really
if
post
you're
up there. Hey, we're on the next episode.
But if you're watching, they always give the title.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Well, then I miss it.
On the show, right after the opening credits, when they come back, and it'll say the name of the episode.
Okay, so I speed past the opening credits, right?
Well, somebody help me. Somebody help me.
Oh, good. I just shot water out my nose. Oh, that burns.
Sorry. I just want to watch the show. I don't want to watch the credits.
So you fast forward, you don't skip.
I just go to the frame that I know it starts in and go to it. But anyway, so...
It's like an ice cream head. Look at Matthew Anderson posted. Exactly.
Well,
So were you just trying to bag on me because of my viewing habits, or did you want to ask me a real question
No,
about
I was
Voyager?
asking, where are you in Voyager? And what do you think of the series? This is your first viewing of that series.
So we'll play a game. The last episode I watched had something to do with a hollow story that was actually a training exercise that Tuvok wrote. But
I just finished watching that one too.
Balana found it and was like, wow, this is a great holodeck novel. I don't know who wrote it. And pretty soon almost everybody on the crew is playing with this. It was really entertainment. It was cute. It was fun. It allowed them to look at a topic that they were teasing with, or a fear that they had initially in the beginning, and the what ifs. So I thought that was a creative way to do that. As far as the entire series, I feel like it's a mishmash of the Enterprise and DS9 and the Next Generation. It's like Tom Paris is Trip. That's one thing that I keep seeing over and over again.
Unfortunately, Enterprise came after Voyager.
I don't care.
So Trip.
I'm just telling you that this is how it feels to me. Like Tom Paris's character is Trip. They are the same.
Really?
Yeah, to me they are.
Okay, go ahead. I don't get that at all.
Interesting observation.
So, it's hard to watch some of the episodes sometimes because it's kind of like they throw a bunch of characters in there. You're not allowed to get to know them very well, and this thing happened. Good luck.
That's Voyager in a nutshell.
And so I really appreciate it when they get into some episodes that have an interesting twist that might cause you to see an insight to a character. Like there was one that had a ship with the biospheres in it. So they started the Nyrissans, I think they were called, were taking one member at a time from Voyager, bringing them to a biosphere while putting one member of their species onto the ship so that they could take over the ship. Now, I don't know, there's one area where I just loved Janeway, and I can't stand her voice, but I loved Janeway in that one scene. She's standing there. She's got her little transporter, whatever thing, technology from the Narissans, and she's got her phaser, and she's just giving them the what twos, the what fours, and how it works. And at that moment, I was just like, okay, I'm in love. I love her.
Right on. Displaced is the episode that you're talking about right now. The one earlier is called Worst Case Scenario.
Thank you, Mike.
I just finished watching both of those episodes. In fact, I've just started season 4 myself. So,
we're like neck and neck.
Yeah,
like we're watching it together.
Almost. Yeah. So there are a lot of some of these episodes. Voyager started to get into their groove, starting to figure things out. Before that was Distant Origin, and then Real Life, and the one with the Doctor. He creates a holographic family, and that was kind of fun and interesting. So yeah, it's these last few episodes, in my opinion, of Voyager were starting to get interesting. Worst case scenario, we got to see Seska come back. such a good villain, and I'm kind of sad that they killed her off so quickly. I think they could have done kind of more with her, but at the same time, they were kind of getting farther and farther away from Kazon Space, so she would have eventually have to end up leaving. But I just loved the way that they used her in this episode. So
Now, but
She comes
Jen,
back from the past. That was awesome.
Lady Naoma Gade, you name. You really hate Janeway's voice, don't you?
It annoys me. I don't mind it so much when she's speaking very softly, but when she is for most of her dialogue, it's just annoying. I don't know if it's the tone or whatever, but I cringe and when I hear it.
Mike, something interesting. If you or I said that, we'd be misogynists.
I guess that
Okay.
depends upon who you're talking to.
Well, you know what? Based on what she just said, there are times when her voice does get a little grating, and I kind of had to agree with Janet, or with Janice, excuse me.
Janice Gade.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not something against the character, and
No.
I think the actress, she's great. It's just I just don't like it. It's just one of those things. I just don't like it when she's, I don't know. It's
She does
kinda
not
like
have a voice for yelling.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's when she's yelling or kind of. I'm gonna end up putting my foot in my mouth, aren't I?
When she's emotional,
Well, no,
anxiety
it's-
emotional.
it-
When
it's
she's
not-
anxiety emotional.
Not really. It's her every day. Because of the way they portray her character is based upon or it seems to me it's based upon a 1980s, 1990s theme of what a powerful woman in the corporation world would be like. You have to be better than all the men. You have to be stronger. You can't have any emotions. You can't have any feelings. You can't express those kind of things. And everything is very curt, commanding type response, because that's the only way as a female that you're going to keep everybody in line. And that's what it seems like as she's going through. Now, as Voyager has gone on in the last, I would say within the last 10 to 12 episodes of what I've watched, we've gotten insight into her character, where, like when she and Chakotay had to be stranded on a planet because they had some unknown virus that couldn't be cured for a while. You start seeing more of her personality, and her voice is different because she's speaking in natural tones and she's not commanding, and she's just being who she is. And that's very different.
You're going to see a lot more of that side of her, the just conversational when Seven comes aboard.
Well, see, and I'm looking forward to that because I think her character has a lot to offer. And if it's a myth, a woman does not have to be like in order to command respect. That's just a fallacy. So it'll be nice to see her get past that.
Very
Anyone?
Right.
So you're coming up on you're not in season 4 yet because Seven joins in season 4, if I remember correctly.
The episode immediately after Worst Case Scenario is Scorpion Part 1, which is the finale for season 3.
And is also Chakotay's shining moment, where they wrote him as a first officer.
He's not the love-struck cabana boy for Janeway.
He actually
That's good.
Gets to do first officer stuff, and that to me, their best scene ever between those two is in that episode.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can't wait to watch it. Thank you.
Yeah, he does first officer stuff in this one, Dennis, where he challenges her.
Well, and I think that's good. It would be nice to see Chakotay to get more into that kind of a role versus what we've seen so far.
Well,
what I've seen so far.
This is not a spoiler for you, but after Seven comes along, basically Chakotay disappears for the most part. He's there sitting next to Janeway, and he'll have a line or two. But I mean, would you agree, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, that's really sad because his character has a lot to offer.
Oh, no,
he does.
No doubt.
And sadly, that he ends up coming back a little more towards the end, but it's kind of as Seven's,
Yeah.
as related to Seven. No, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but
It's
it
okay. I'm not
becomes
upset about spoilers.
it becomes the 7 of 9 show, really.
Well, so I'm wondering, has anybody written any books that delve into Chakotay and his character? Because if they
Kristen
have, I
Byer-
would like to
Kristen
know what they
Byer
are.
The
writes
Kristen Byer novels deal heavily with Chakotay because he's the captain of Voyager now.
Ah, yay!
the one I'm reading. He ends up retiring, or getting rid of his commission, but apparently he gets it back at some point. But yeah, so there's a lot more Chakotay in the novels, and I really am enjoying what she has done with him in the bits that I've read. So yeah, definitely check him out if you like Chakotay.
I have to check it out because I hate to see when a really good character is no longer used or is misused in a way.
Yep. And yeah, and what they did to him was a shame. They just didn't utilize him correctly at all.
Yeah, you're watching the burnout of the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that characters get like a champion or two in the writer's room, and if they do, then they're going to get more episodes. And if and they'll get more screen time within the episodes, or they'll get a backstory, or they'll get something. And when that person leaves, or that person likes something else shiny, then suddenly the character is like, okay, we have to write them out or whatever. And it doesn't even mean that the actor's doing a bad job. It doesn't mean that they're at the end of their contract or anything like that. But the writers are just sort of, they're starting to move off, and they're moving off in another direction. And I'm kind of extrapolating this from what I know about, of all things, Saturday Night Live, because for them, particularly for the first like 5 or 10 years or whatever, if you wanted to be in a lot of sketches, you had to go down and make nice to the writers, and if you did, then you were in a lot of things. You were loved. You got more mail, and then there was also more of an incentive for them to give you more stuff. And because Julia Louis-Dreyfus had said this, that she wasn't making nice with the writers, and so as a result she was often being forgotten. And here is somebody who is a terrific comedic actress, but was really wasted on that show. And that was a time period where they were making a lot of poor decisions to begin with, and that just kept making it worse because she wasn't playing their little game.
I suppose that it could be a hard balance when, I know when I write the little tidbits that I do, I get excited and carried away with a tangent. And so I can see that kind of thing happening, but it must be really difficult to kind of reel yourself in when you guys go through a discussion on something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is in 7 seasons of Voyager, Chakotay, if you compare as the first officer, Spock, Riker, Kira, and is Trip the first officer on Enterprise?
T'Pol.
And then T'Pol, the amount of stories they had, and then compare it to Chakotay, it's brutal to see how underserved, and Beltran was very vocal about it too, about how
and he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, and
he could have done it if they tried.
Now, one thing is, because people are posting in the chat room about it, what is your opinion of Neelix?
I think Neelix is kind of like the comedy entertainment in a way, and I can see them trying to bring him out of that as the episodes go further. And he's trying to take seriously another role aside from cook or advisor to Captain Janeway for the part of space that they were in. I find that he's very interesting and a safe character for them to address those how do you say it? Yeah, issues where what's right and what's wrong, and that people pleasing issue, and how you end up getting into trouble through just taking one step and then another step, and you're going in the wrong direction. And he gets into those kind of things very easily. So that makes this character interesting to me, because all of the other characters, it's not safe to really do that. They have to have some other kind of reason, like something else is controlling them. Neelix is allowed to be a character that has those kind of inner turmoil and inner struggles, and has to deal with the guilt, and has to deal with the shame, and has to regain the trust. So I love his character in that sense. I think that they kind of let him hang a little bit too much, in a sense. Like they give him a big thing, and then he's dropped off into the others.
You mean like a mission, and he's forgotten?
Well, it's not necessarily a mission, because he goes on a lot of missions. It's just that when they bring in a episode that utilizes him a lot and gives him a struggle, where part of the story arc or a backstory arc has to do with him, they will go through it, but they bring it to I feel like it's too quick of an ending as they're trying to explore it. So they introduce the issue and then they end it.
Well,
and they really need to finish it.
That brings up a good point, because in production run, you had TNG, and then the next series was Deep Space Nine, and then the next series was Voyager. And after
all of those had overlap, it should be noted.
Right, but after Deep Space Nine, with how they did it in an arc, and there was definite continuity between the episodes, and then they almost took a step back with Voyager by not having an arc like they did with Deep Space Nine, and which made, like what you're talking about, Lady Naoma Gade DeVoe, that the lack of the arc is so stark compared to Deep Space Nine, and it really is it's a step backward in storytelling.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Nick. It was like they were trying to go back to their episodic route and trying to only depend on the overall arc of the journey home, rather than more of
the day to day.
Of a more concise or day to day type of arc.
Where I think Neelix would have had a beneficiary of that, like Odo was.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But I still find Neelix to be an endearing character. I know there's a lot of hate for Neelix, and people call him the Jar Jar of Star Trek, but I maybe it's because Ethan Phillips is played it so great, and he's such a good actor that I still have a soft spot for Neelix.
Well, I don't have any hatred for his character whatsoever. His character is endearing. The problem that I have is that they don't allow the rest of the story to come out, and that's perhaps why people don't develop that liking for him. Because, quite frankly, you put him into a situation where he betrays the ship.
You're talking about the episode Fair Trade, by the way, right?
Right.
That's the one where he meets up with a friend of his that he knew from back when, and takes one step that leads to another step that seems totally reasonable, and next thing you know, someone's been murdered, and he's like in the middle of it all.
Right. And so they bring him down that path, and he works to redeem himself, but you see a quick cutoff to the resolution of the situation, and then you don't see him having to work to regain trust because there's no continuity between the episodes. So you don't get to see all of the other sides that if he were to do that, people would be absolutely in love with his character. Because quite frankly, there's nothing better than a person or a character that when they betray your trust, turn around, realize their mistakes, admits it, and then does whatever it takes to regain that trust and holds it and keeps it better than anybody else around. They become the person that you rely on the most. And that's really what his character could have been.
But they got stuck in the wacky adventures of Neelix mode.
Yeah. And you're right. It does do a disservice to his character. I mean, he has his moments when he's like when he's very endearing, but he also has his moments when he's that creepy uncle that that everyone seems to have in their family somewhere. So he also suffers from that, a bit of how do you describe it? Almost a sense or a bit of dual personality. I mean, he's kind of all over the place as well.
Yes, and I don't know if anybody realizes, but when I first started watching Voyager and I was watching the relationship between Cass and Neelix, I actually tweeted, "Oh my God, this is my relationship with Gettysburg."
Oh my God.
And I think I'm
thanks.
Neelix.
And what?
And I think I'm Neelix.
Oh my.
Well, Neelix
Which
is a
makes
very
me
jealous
wise.
character.
Think about that, Mike. That makes me the wise one.
Oh God.
I'm suited for that role.
Wow. As you guys probably noticed, we are taking a break from the 50 for 50 this week because Terry is not here.
Terry's on death's door.
No, she's
Yeah,
not
poor
that
thing.
bad, but she is not feeling well.
I don't know. I got a call from their attorney asking if I can fly out for a reading. So I don't know.
Sure, it
So
wasn't a beating.
a beating is probably more likely. But
That's
we
uncalled for.
we wish her well. We hope that she recovers and will be able to join us next week. When she returns, we should be able to go over the episodes that we have watched, which if you don't recall, they are DS9's The Visitor, Enterprises United, Enterprises Awakening, and TNG's Chain of Command Part 2. So anything else you guys want to discuss, or before we, I guess, head towards the end of the show? The end of show? For show?
I think maybe it's time
I
to.
guess not.
Yeah, let's burn the candles down to the bottom, and hopefully not burn down
Let's
the
set Jesper's house
in
on
the studio. Yes, and wish everyone happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, and such as is left.
Hanukkah
happy
Harry.
Kwanzaa.
Did he stop by?
Somewhere in there's going to be a dinner. I think. I don't know. You know, when you're older, it's sort of like, oh no, whenever we have time, we'll figure something out. We're actually going to my parents next weekend. Yeah, I will not be around next weekend because I'll be in Long Island because my folks it's their 60th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
so we're going
wow!
to.
Congratulations. Heading up the Jericho Turnpike, baby.
You better believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stopping by Huntington Station. Yes.
Oh,
So let's as the sun sinks slowly into the west and our canoe burning, it suddenly turned into a Viking ritual, goes smoldering out to sea. We wish you happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Hey, I need to talk to you. Listener mail.
Real quick, we did receive an email. I want to personally thank the individual for the message. I apologize.
you're a better person than me.
I mean, a part of me does want to say "fuck you, man, fuck you," but you know, I'm gonna.
Oh, you just did.
Okay, I got it in there. But again, thank you for bringing it to our attention. We will strive to do better. I will strive to keep my mouth shut.
What?
See, now you've said it, and people are like, "What?"
See, okay, let me get this straight. So you have a podcast show, and people aren't supposed to talk?
Well, apparently they don't tune in to listen to me talk because I make things slow.
Well, today you made things go, so...
Well,
Hell yeah.
maybe not fast enough. I don't know. But damn. Where's the...
Somebody was PMSing. He was manstrating, and decided hey, I'm going to write an email to Mike.
My first bit of hate mail. So yeah.
I know.
Kinda proud
How
of
long
it.
has it taken you?
I've been doing this.
Slacker.
I've been
finally
doing this
stepped
for
up in
quite
the
a while.
world.
I mean, I was kind of proud. It was like, woohoo! At the same time,
You're
I'm
nobody
like,
till you get hate mail. Let me tell
yeah.
you.
So yeah. Again, thank you. That not for the hate mail, but thank you for writing in. And the feedback. The feedback's always important, So I do want to thank you for that. So
Well, whoever this
Even if we
person
think
is,
you're
at least
wrong.
they were passionate enough to write.
yeah,
Because if
exactly.
you think about it, the amount of what is it that you could have 1 million listeners, and then of those, like 2 will write. So they're the ones that care so much that they're like, I'm so angry that blah 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 blah.
Oh, I see this in the writing field all the time, where people might have sold, let's say, 100 copies of their books. God bless them. I'm glad they do. And then they're complaining that they only have 2 reviews. And it's like you need to understand that the people who purchase and the people who review it's an intersecting. These are intersecting sects, but they're not identical.
No, and that's 2% of your audience has decided to review, which is, not bad.
Fantastic, actually.
Well, but the other thing
that's
too
actually
is
rather
that
good.
a lot of us, well, like me, will buy books that I find interesting, but I don't read them right away. So it might take me a year or 2 to write a review, maybe.
Yeah, I've got a list of stuff
Understood.
too. So, but yeah, but the important thing, as was mentioned, is thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the listener mail. Thank you for the hate mail. As long as he made the effort to write, that is by itself fantastic, and we will strive to keep it under advisement and
That
try
person's
to-
name? J.J. Abrams.
There you go.
Oh God.
Lens flares for everybody.
All right. I think that's it. Do we have announcements?
I have something to say. Announcements!
Do I have an announcements? I don't think I have an announcements. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays and get well soon, Terry.
Yes. And I do have an announcement.
Okay.
I have to go potty.
Not quite what I was looking for.
Oh,
but we'll
okay.
go with it. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you feel better, Terry.
Kapla.
Happy Hanukkah.
Joe Lontreux.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my yo man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I've sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy-free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobe